Good morning, boys and girls. So, I thought I would read chapter 11 of The Gigantic Giant Goof-up by Sarah Courtauld, in which there is staring. Lavender stared. Eliza stared. Gertrude nibbled quietly on a sock. As Two Big strode along, they were all speechless, because this was it, the land of the giants. The whole place seemed to be covered by thick forest, and nothing in the forest was small, apart from the whales. Whales were tiny, for some reason, and eked out a meager existence at the bottom of puddles. This was the actual size of the whales. As Eliza and Lavender stared at the daffodils as tall as trees, and the trees as tall as mountains, and the mountains as tall as troutons, and the troutons as tall as zountains, Bonnet kept his eyes tightly shut. He had seen it all before. He never wanted to see it again. I'm not really here. I'm not really here. I'm not really here, he muttered to himself. What Bonnet really didn't want to look at were the giants. There were giants grinning as they headbutted each other. There were giants singing around open fires as they shoveled whole hogs into their mouths. There were giants bashing each other over the head with enormous clubs and dancing in enormous clubs and playing cards with enormous clubs. And while all of these things were very frightening indeed, they didn't frighten Eliza as much as one simple fact, which was this: the fact that when all the other snarling, club-wielding, cow-swallowing, buffalo-tossing giants saw the giant carrying them, they all said, "Good day, Too Big," and "Morning, Mr. T," and "It's too big, run!" He's not just a giant, Eliza gulped. He's the giant that even giants are afraid of. "Oh, look at that beautiful flower," said Lavender, pointing to an enormous orange flower. "It's so big I could live in it like Thumbelina," she said. And then her eyes went wide, and her heart began to beat, and her brain went whooping as she remembered her magical wish. "I wish to be so tiny I can go to a faraway kingdom. Wait, hold on. No, yes, what?" Lavender's mind was really spinning now, spinning faster and faster. If there had been any socks inside her mind, they would have been completely dry. Has the snail's magic begun to work? She wondered. "But that's incredible," she shouted. "What's incredible?" said Eliza. Nothing, said Lavender. She wanted to tell her sister everything, but Sybil had told her to keep her wish a secret. So she didn't say anything to Eliza. Instead, she contented herself with singing a little song. Some say that it's diamonds, some say that it's boys, some say that it's unicorns or bicycles or toys. But I have found the answer, on that you can depend. Snails, snails, snails are a girl's best friend. Then, when no one was looking, she got the wooden box out of her pocket. "Sybil," she whispered, "is this all your magical doing?" "Of course it is," whispered Sybil. "You are at the start of the most incredible adventure. You have to let it unfold." "I do?" "Really, there's nothing to worry about," said Sybil calmly. "I'm completely trustworthy. I promise you, hand on my heart." "Oh, excellent. You know what they say, snails are all that you need." "Definitely. And whatever you've heard about any mistakes I may have made in the past, that was all probably made up by a jealous centipede." What was that?" asked Lavender. But by now, Sybil had shrunk back into her shell. So Lavender shut the box and put it back in her pocket. "It's all going to be fine," she said. "We're all going to go on a magical adventure." "What?" said Eliza, who had been staring out the window. "Have you gone crazy?" "No," said Lavender. "I just think that everything's quite exciting." This is not exciting, said Eliza, and this is not an adventure. This is a disaster because we are very, very far from home and will probably get eaten. And oh no, Grandma Maud, she cried. She'll come back home and we'll just have disappeared. The house will be gone. Oh, really, Eliza? Grandma will be fine, said Lavender. Why would she be fine, said Eliza. You've gone soft in the head. Was your brains replaced by a flan in the night? Was it stolen by a vorpal in your sleep? Did you swap brains with a pigeon overnight? No, said Lavender. I'm simply enjoying this exciting opportunity to see the world. Who knows what might happen? I know what might happen, Eliza replied, and I know it's not going to be good. Oh, Eliza, said a lavender, you are so negative. Look at that. You don't see anything like that every day. It is true, Eliza thought. You don't see something like that every day. They had come to a halt in front of a rock face, a very stern rock face. The rock face was etched into a massive boulder, which Too Big picked up and tossed to one side as easily as if it was a toothpick. He stepped into the hole behind it. That's it, said Eliza as they were plunged into darkness. He's really got us now. Thwomp. Too Big plonked the house down on the floor. Eliza stared out the window as her eyes adjusted to the darkness of the cave. In the middle of the cave, she could see a big crackling bonfire. The flames lit up a collection of strange objects that were hanging on the walls. One wall was devoted to axes and clubs. Another wall was covered in shining silver trophies. And hanging from the ceiling on a series of long brown ropes were some even more frightening objects: swords, harpoons, and lances. Where are we? She gasped. We're nowhere, said Bonnet, who still had his eyes shut tight. I'm not here. You're not here. This never happened. We are here, said Eliza, and we have to. Hey, what happened? Why did everything go dark? Suddenly, Eliza couldn't see a thing. The house was jiggling and rolling around again. Then very close by, Too Big's deep, booming voice said, Silence, my teeny tinies. I don't want to ruin the surprise. The surprise? Was there a surprise? Whatever it was, Eliza thought, it was very unlikely to be good. We've got to get out of here, Eliza whispered. She felt her way to the kitchen door and opened it. But when she tried to walk through it, she went headfirst into something furry, something that was stretched over the doorway. Bonnet, Lavender, Gertrude, she shouted. We're trapped. The giants trapped us inside the house. We have to get out. But Bonnet wasn't going to risk going anywhere. He was quietly sitting in the corner, reciting his worries to himself. Worry number 72, he muttered. Napkins. Is it true that they're all having a nap and one day they're going to wake up and turn into Wakekins? And what will they do then? Worry number 73, spoons. They seem sinister. Why? Meanwhile, Lavender was quietly singing a song. When you're feeling lonely, bad or sad or blue, just look around upon the ground at what's in front of you. And if it's been raining, be careful where you tread, for you don't want to step upon your brand new best friend's head. For snails, 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 snails are the very best. And what about Gertrude? Was Gertrude using the darkness to think of a fantastic escape plan? Or was she, in fact, using the darkness to eat another one of Bonnet's bonnets? We'll never know. There's Gertrude. And tomorrow I will read chapter 12, in which there are lions. I hope you all have a super day, and we will talk to you or read to you tomorrow.